All right, let's just jump right in. Welcome to this explainer covering Session 3 from CloudBridge Tech Labs, the DevOps Triad. Today, we are going to completely demystify server troubleshooting. If you've ever felt totally overwhelmed when a system goes down, you are in exactly the right place. Oh, and before we get into the weeds, please remember to like and subscribe so we can keep bringing you these deep dives.
So tell me if this sounds familiar. Have you ever wondered why applications just suddenly crash out of absolutely nowhere? Or why your servers slow down to a painful crawl? Or websites completely stop responding? It's that terrible feeling of dread when the pager goes off, right? Well, the real answer to all that chaos is actually hidden right inside the machine.
And get this, 80%. If you can master just 3 hidden elements, which we're actually going to unpack today, you'll be empowered to resolve 80% of real-world Linux and DevOps issues. Literally, you'll be handling these crises like an absolute pro, with zero panic required. Here is our agenda for today. We'll cover 1, the DevOps troubleshooting triad, 2, controlling background services, 3, managing active system processes, 4, reading the system logs, and 5, your day 3 practice. Let's start with Section 1, the DevOps troubleshooting triad. So what is this triad? It really comes down to exactly 3 pillars of server rescue: services, processes, and logs. Think of these as your ultimate foundational survival kit. When a server catches fire, metaphorically speaking, of course, your brain needs to instantly snap to these 3 things. They are the absolute keys to the kingdom.
Moving right along to Section 2, controlling background services.
Okay, so what exactly is a service? Basically, they are background applications running completely silently on your system. They're the unsung heroes humming along under the hood. We're talking about things like NGNs for your web serving, MySQL for databases, Docker, or SSH. They just sit in the background, making the whole shebang work. And what's incredibly cool is how you manage all these silent workers with one master switch, the systemctl command. It is so powerful. Want to start something up? Boom, sudo systemctl start nginx. Need to shut it down? Sudo systemctl stop nginx. If you want it to wake up automatically when the server reboots, you use enable nginx. And to see what's happening right this second, just run systemctl status nginx. It really is brilliant in its simplicity. All right, let's picture a real-world crisis. The Slack channel is blowing up, the alarms are blaring, and the message is clear. The website is down. Your Nginx server has just vanished from the internet. What is your very first move? Well, you don't just blindly reboot the whole machine. Nope. The very first step a trained DevOps engineer takes is checking that foundational service. You type systemctl status nginx. That's it. You go straight to the master switch to see if the service is active, if it failed, or if it's struggling. That single command dictates your entire troubleshooting strategy. Which brings us to Section 3, managing active system processes. Now, what happens when those passive services wake up and actually start doing work? They become processes. A process is just a running application that is actively gobbling up system resources and computing power. It's got moving parts, it's eating up memory, and it demands your immediate attention. To keep an eye on these resource-hungry processes, you've got 2 main tools in your toolkit. First, there's PS-EF, which gives you a static view. It's like taking a photograph of everything running at that exact millisecond. But if you need live monitoring, you use the top command. Top is like a dynamic live heartbeat monitor for your system. It constantly updates so you can see exactly who is hogging the resources in real time. So let's look at another absolute panic situation. Your server is completely frozen. Nobody can log in. Everything is lagging like crazy. Turns out, a rogue Java application is consuming 100% of your server's CPU. It is literally taking all the oxygen in the room. How do we rescue the server? Here is your 3-step interactive rescue sequence. Step 1, fire up that live monitor by typing top to find the rogue process right at the top of the list. Step 2, look over to the left and grab its target PID, the process ID. Think of that like its unique license plate. Step 3, we bring out the digital sledgehammer. You type kill-9 followed by that PID, and boom, it's terminated instantly. The CPU drops, the server breathes again, and you just saved the day. Next up, Section 4, reading the system logs. Because look, even when you successfully kill a rogue process, we still need to know why it failed in the first place, right? That brings us to a massive golden rule in this industry. Logs are everything in DevOps. Without logs, troubleshooting becomes impossible. You absolutely cannot skip this. Trying to fix a server without logs is basically like trying to solve a crime while wearing a blindfold. They are your ultimate source of truth. But you have to know where to find them. Here are the essential log paths you absolutely must commit to memory. For general system logs on most Linux distributions, you're heading to var log/messages. Now, if you're on Ubuntu specifically, those system logs will be over in var log/syslog. And for your specific applications, like our web server, they usually get their own dedicated directories, like var log/nginx/. You've got to know this map. Once you find them, how do you actually read them? Well, we've got two stellar commands for this. To pull up an organized history of system logs for a specific service, use journalctl-u ngx. But if you are actively hunting down an error as it happens, you use tail-f on the actual file, like /var/log/ngx/access.log. That streams the events right down your screen in real time. It is a total game changer. Let's put it all together for one last crisis scenario. Your team pushes a massive new deployment, and boom, the application immediately starts failing. Your first reflex? Check the logs. And not just one. You check the container logs, then you check the nginx logs to see if traffic is breaking, and you check the system logs to see if the server itself ran out of memory. You triangulate the truth.
And finally, Section 5, your Day 3 practice.
Theory is great, but we gotta get our hands dirty. Here is your actionable, hands-on checklist directly from the CloudBridge Tech Lab source material. Boot up a terminal, install nginx, use systemctl to start the service, then stop it. Go peek at the logs using journalctl or tail, and finally, find a process and kill it. Actually doing this on a keyboard is what transforms you into a seasoned pro. Wow, we've covered some serious ground today. You now have the server triad, services, processes, and logs locked down. But I want to leave you with this to chew on. You can fix the machine now, for sure. But what happens when the issue isn't actually on the server at all, but it's hiding somewhere inside the network connecting to it? Are you ready to troubleshoot the network when the triad just isn't enough to save you? Think about that. Thanks for joining this explainer, and we will catch you next time.